Welcome back to the vlog. Kato here, and today we're doing a $300 buy-in at the 1-3 game, and there's about 5 OMCs at this table, a few young guns ready to pull out their pistols. The first hand I look down at is pocket kings. I mean, the very first hand. The other gun player limps. The low jack limps as well. The hijack tosses his hand out of the way. Actions to me, I don't want to get a bunch of limp callers, and so I decide to go a little bit larger. I make it 25, and 25 is going to be a number that most people don't want to play against. The blinds fold out of the way. The first limper folds, and then the last limper.
Heads up with nothing in the pot. All yours.
Unfortunately, he folds, and I don't get any action. But I'll scoop the $10 in the middle. The next hand I get is ace-8 of hearts. This time in the low jack. 3-10 on my stack. There's a button straddle on the pot. And action folds around to me once again. I'm going to go a little bit less this time. I make it 20. Action folds all the way back to the straddler on the button. And he's coming for me. I know he's coming for me because he told me he wants to make the vlog. Well, here's your opportunity. Usually when people want to make the vlog, they go a little bit overboard, push the action a bit, try to get a good fold with a big bluff. I've become well aware of this over the past year. It's a perk of poker vlogging, I'd have to say. But it's going to be hard to do that when the dealer puts out the flop. 2 aces on board. I've tripped up, but my kicker is not so great. And listen up, because I'm going to share a very valuable low-stakes secret with you. Typically, when people trip up on the flop, even if they were the pre-flop aggressor, they check for deception and then try to pile money in on the later streets. It becomes very obvious what they have. I do the exact opposite. I like to fire a big, almost pot-sized bet into the middle when I hit trips. It really throws the bloodhound off the scent, and they think there's no way this guy's betting into me with trips. Then I can continue piling money in on the turn and the river, and I usually get paid off way more than if I try to slow play on the first street. And so I make it 25, and my opponent quickly calls. The dealer drops the turn. It's a 3. My kicker still plays, although my kicker's not that great. If he has an ace, he's probably going to take my entire chip stack. And when I factor in a few things, I decide on a check. I thought if he has an ace that beats me, he's going to bet. If he has an ace that doesn't beat me, he's going to bet. If he has nothing, he's going to bet. And sure enough, he stacks out chips and he puts in a bet. He makes it 70 to go. Of course, I'm going to make this call, but I've got to heave and haw a little bit, make it look like I don't have an ace. That way, he'll fire again on the river. I think this line is much more deceptive than checking the flop and then starting to pile money into the pot on the turn. Of course, I make the call, and the river comes out. It's close to an 8, but 1 under. I'm going to continue with my plan. No reason to push out bluffs. No reason to have the opportunity to get check raised. And so I check to my opponent. This time he takes his time analyzing what to do. There's $234 up for grabs. And I know he wants it. I know I want it. But I'm sitting with a strong hand, most likely the winner. But he goes for chips. Goes for another pile on top. Adds a few more on the end. Stacks them up. And chips in a leaning tower of Pisa. The dealer goes to count him. But I know I'm going to make the call since I called the 70. Before she's done counting, I make the call, and my opponent immediately takes his hand and throws it into the muck. I'm going to be scooping this first one, and I probably would have made a lot less money if I wouldn't have checked the turn. This session is going fantastic. Scooping chips, doubling my stack up right away, but just like a rock star or an NBA player, when money comes easy, it can go easy as well. It's hard to appreciate what you have when it's just flowing in. And guys, I have a very special request for you before we get to the next hand. I have a good friend named Greg. He has the channel Greg Goes All In. Well, guess what? He is nominated for People's Choice of Poker Personality. There he is, bottom right corner. He's a natural talent, a great gift to the poker community, and a very hard worker, and I'm throwing my hat in the ring for him. I hope you do too. Go to the link in the description below and vote for him, please. The next time I get is Queen 10 of clubs in the low jack, 558 on my stack. There's a straddle on the pot, the same button straddle that I got into at the last hand, and I'm going to put in a bet to 20. The cutoff tosses in 20. Sorry for this gentleman counting his chips right in the way. Doesn't he know that I have a production going on? Action is now back on the button straddler, who looks like he's going for a 3-bet. He stacks out chips and chips in 61. Like I mentioned in my previous vlog, if there's a 3-bet that's not that much bigger than my bet, I often get suckered in holdings that don't deserve to continue on. I make the call, and then the cutoff ships his whole stack in, $200 to go. Another argument for not calling the 3-bet is anytime you can get above $300 in these capped games, it's a massive advantage. No one can buy into your chip stack. And so I need to preserve those profits in order to use them as weapons later on in the match. Action gets back to the button. If he calls, I probably have to call, even though I'm probably dominated. As it is right now, with the amount of money in the pot, looking at it on my screen, I'm probably pot committed even if he folds. I've been working very hard on knowing exactly how much money is in the pot. The majority of live players have no idea, and if you ask them to guess, they'd typically be way off. And in situations like this, although I may be pot committed, I also am just being dragged more and more into the pot. It's kind of a tough situation, but I put myself in this tough situation by calling the 3-bet to begin with. The button finally decides to fold its hand, and now action's back to me. Do I want to call 135 for an opportunity to take that 340 in the middle? I think I'm supposed to. And I have a history with this player. This is the gentleman that I hit the bad beat jackpot with. If you haven't seen that episode, make sure to check it out. It's linked above right now. It's a great episode. Although there is a compelling argument to call, I could be dominated or destroyed already, so I just muck, take the $61 loss, and the cutoff flips up his hand. Ace-King. I was live until the button tells me that he folded Ace-Queen, so one of my outs was gone. Let me know what you think about this one in the comments. Look down at Jack-9 of Hearts in middle position, 498 in my stack. The under the gun player limps. I'm going to open the action to 15, and it folds all the way around to the button, a classic OMC. One of the easiest types of players to play against, and he makes the call. The rest of the players fold. We're going heads up to the flop, and it comes out with an ace and 2 hearts. Since I was the original better, I'm going to continue betting, acting like I have an ace. If he doesn't have an ace, I know he's going to fold. And if he calls, it's probably specifically because he does have an ace. He does make the call, and the turn is a 6. Now I have a gut shot to the straight if a 7 comes on the river. Hearts are live for me as well. So I'm going to put out a very small pot building bet, a blocking bet, and an opportunity to take the pot down right here. I know he's not going to raise me. Even if he has 2 pair, he might not raise me. And he comes along once again. Now it's confirmed he definitely has an ace. The river comes out a blank. I'm not interested in continuing with the bluff. It's going to have to be a significant amount of money. He doesn't even have a significant amount, so I check to him, and he immediately goes for chips, grabs 35, ships him into the center, and there's nothing else for me to do here except for to toss my hand away. I want to thank everyone who's picked up a badass cold hard cash card protector. You are supporting the channel. You're helping me do what I love to do. I've shipped these all over the place: Singapore, Norway, Russia, Colombia, Canada, North Korea. No, not North Korea. The next hand I pick up is 8-7 of hearts under the gun, 433 in my stack. I open the action to 15. The low jack calls. The button calls. The small blind completes. And we're going to a flop. It comes with a 7, backdoor heart draw. And the small blind throws 4 in. He's all in. I make the call. The low jack calls. The button calls. We're all going to the turn. And it's a heart. Now I have a backdoor heart draw. A pair of 7s. But I just want to check. Get to the river. My flush isn't so great. My pair isn't so great. It checks all the way through. And the river is the king of spades. It checks through again, and the big blind, who's all in, flips up king 5 of hearts. Good thing a heart didn't come out. I guess it didn't really matter. He was all in. But for me, the session started off as a bonfire. It seems like I've run out of wood, and the fire is slowly simmering out. Don't forget to feed the YouTube algorithm. It's hungry, and it specifically feasts on likes. 406 on my stack, and I pick up king queen offsuit. I'm in the small blind, and the same OMC across the table decides to go for a bet of 15. Action folds around to me. Of course, I'm going to make this call, but then I think better of it. I could be dominated. He's not raising with anything other than like a premium. And so I just decided, you know what? I'm going to toss this one away. The next time I get a 7-5 of hearts in the hijack. The middle position player limps. The low jack, another OMC, makes it 10. I'm going to call, but then I decide to spice it up with the 3-bet for the first time today. I make it 40. And then my bad beat brother goes all in. It's only 30 more for me to call. But I'm going to have $70 painfully committed to this pot with 7 high. The player to my right who bet 10 shames me. He says, this is what you get. This is what you get for 3-betting me. He mucks his hand.
70. This is going to be embarrassing on the vlog.
No, you're well ahead.
I am not.
Yeah, you are.
I have 7 high. You want to flip them up?
I was expecting better.
I had better than
I was going for the straight flush.
I was going for not to go to the ATM. I was going.
yeah.
You hit the
I
center.
had to do that.
Aces always come.
Oh, there's another 4.
4.
What's them? 3, 4, yeah.
Nice hand.
And just like that, with a series of bad plays, I've pissed away my profits for the day, and you can tell I'm pissed, bouncing my card protector up and down. Just unhappy about the situation I put myself in by playing subpar hands, subpar positions. And I realize I need to get up from the table. I need to fight another day because I'm not going to be playing good poker and I'm not going to be playing good poker, especially when I'm frustrated. So I rack up my chips and head to the cage to turn them into cold hard cash. In for $300, out for $307 for a small profit of $7. Thanks so much for watching. Kato out.